Here we are.
Back at Bumbledickin with Evan and Chelsie.
And...
We've got our first guest star.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Allie.
So this is our friend Allie. We are currently all doing White Christmas together, and we decided it was time to bring guests on the show.
Yeah, episode 3. We said
Episode 3.
enough of just us.
I said, Evan, I can't stand you anymore.
Yeah. I thought we had that. I thought that was a private conversation, but
Sorry.
no, it's okay. Let's just
Oops.
like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, everyone, this week we are asking everyone to start liking and subscribing to our channels.
And sharing it with your friends.
Yeah, because we want all of our friends to experience Bumbledickin, because
And you know what?
To do?
I'll go out on a limb and say even people that aren't our friends, because we want more friends.
Yeah, because we don't have any.
Exactly.
Sad.
That's why we're so desperate in these pleas at the beginning.
We just talk to each other for an hour every other week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this week we had Allie bring Evan and I something to watch.
Something very special.
Allie, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you brought us to watch?
Sure. Okay, so I brought Bachelor in Paradise, and unfortunately on Hulu they expire, so we couldn't really watch the first episode, so instead we watched season 9, episode 4.
Okay, but don't let her lie to you. She wasn't planning on bringing us episode 1. She wanted to bring us episode 2. Allie, why did you want to bring us episode 2?
Well, I thought that it would kind of be really good if I could watch it too, because I hadn't seen it before. So I thought we could all experience it together. But this episode definitely had a lot of interesting things happen. So I was glad that this one was what we watched.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we watched it.
Yeah, me too.
I had maybe seen like a season or 2 of The Bachelor when it first started.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen any of it.
And I think you would like it a lot. It's really
I do
good.
love reality TV.
I love reality TV.
I love the reality part of reality TV and how everything is 100% real.
Yes.
Oh, it
Everything's so
absolutely
real.
is.
Definitely. And we'll get into the parts that are definitely real of this season 9 episode 4 episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So at the beginning of these episodes, we always, whoever doesn't know what's going on has to explain
Okay.
what happened in the episode.
Beautiful.
So I think
good luck. to
rather
us.
than explaining the episode as a whole, I think we should explain the concept of Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
That
that's
I could
great.
And
do.
then we can discuss the logistics of
that's
Yes.
what happened.
Got it.
Great.
So Evan, would you like to start us off?
I feel like I'm not being given much of a choice. Well, I know what I could say, but I don't want to. I'm just going to wind up saying everything. Bachelor in Paradise is about bachelors and bachelorettes
Yep.
in paradise. It is former contestants. Sometimes it's even a former bachelor and or bachelorette themselves.
I don't understand how that works
And-
exactly.
It doesn't always have to be a former contestant. A lot of times it is, but it doesn't have to. How that happens? Well, sometimes even if someone was the bachelorette, they ended up with one person and it didn't work out.
And by the end, they propose, correct?
Not always, but a lot of times, yes. Most times,
But then
yes.
how often do they actually get married?
Not a ton.
So what's the...
Well,
It makes good television.
yeah. I mean, sometimes they do work out. I mean, there are some people that have gotten married and they have children and they're very happy. But more often than not, that does not happen.
And then everybody else goes on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes, exactly. So then it doesn't work out with their person and they decide to all go to paradise and try to meet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's it's guys and gals talking with each other, flirting with each other.
That's
supposed to-
really it, honestly.
Well, I would say that there's supposed to be a rose ceremony, but unfortunately our episode was lacking in a rose
Yeah.
ceremony,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
which it was really building up to the entire episode. And I was like, oh, now we're
Yeah,
going
I
to
know.
see
They
who's
should've
going to
had it
get
at
to
the
stay,
end.
who's going to go.
I don't think I like this series. I think I'm jumping way ahead in like the content of what we should be talking about in Bumbledickin.
Maybe a little.
So I will wait. I will restrain, and we can talk about what happened in the episode.
I'll just
then...
edit that part out.
No, it's okay. You guys can know my opinion from the start. I've never been quiet about what I think. So this episode starts with this lovely girl named Sam. She's
My
really
hero, honestly.
a treat. She's a blessing. This is our first intro. So like
She was my number 2 pick.
So we started on episode 4.
Oh, wait.
Which famously Allie also has not seen because she had only seen episode 1 of this season. And the beginning plot line of this episode is that there's this girl, Sam, who has not pooped in 9 days.
9 days and 23 hours.
Yeah, and counting. And if she doesn't poop by sunrise, she's got to go. She gets the boot.
The doctor says,
And she's got a lover. She has like, oh my God, I think they're the closest couple on the island.
what was his name?
Aaron.
Aaron A.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Because there was another S?
S.
Might be
Aaron
S.
S.
Okay, and then there's an Aaron B.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just assumed,
Yep.
me assuming that they were like, all right, you're Aaron A, you're Aaron B. No, it's their last initial.
So, poor girl. She's really going through it.
But not enough, apparently.
Yeah.
She's not going through it enough.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you and say like that was really a strong hook of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine like not knowing anything about this show other than like a very basic premise of like men and women on an island trying to find their soulmate.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you get thrown at is Sam has 1 hour left until sunrise to poop. If she doesn't, she's going to leave Aaron, her lover, and the paradise behind.
Yeah.
They were all talking about it like so,
And everybody knew it.
Like yeah,
that's
so
what
casually.
The conversation was about. Anytime they saw her, that was the question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And she didn't.
She
She
didn't.
didn't. She had to
She
leave.
didn't. We watched her in her last 10 seconds just laying on the
On the
I think she was
in the
a-
cabana.
in the cabana. I
Yeah.
think she took one last sip of a margarita.
And she said,
She said, "I have to go."
I have to go. But not the kind of going that she wished she was
No.
doing.
I was really hopeful that it was going to be like, and in the last second, like I was really hopeful for her.
Like they
there.
cut to her getting on the plane and she's like about to open like the door to the plane and she goes, oh, wait. And then she's like slow-mo running to an outhouse.
And then they I will acknowledge like they could bring her back, right?
They could bring her
Well,
back.
she poops.
Anything can happen in
However, and this is jumping a little bit ahead, but we don't need to talk about it. We don't need to really worry about jumping in. It is revealed towards the end of the episode that no matter how much time has passed since she left, a few days maybe,
Yeah.
She still hasn't
still hasn't pooped.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Tragic. Somebody help her out.
Why didn't they we talked about this. Why not give her an enema?
That's the first thing I said is like, give her an enema. Call it a
She
day.
tried laxatives because Dr.
Yeah.
Stan or whatever his name was
Yeah.
Yeah.
mentioned
Should've
that
tried
the
that. I don't
laxatives
know.
weren't working.
Yeah. That was wild.
We saw her lover pick her up and give her a bit of a tighter squeeze than usual. Trying to
They're
get
like
that
yoga
out.
poses. Like she could have done so many things.
100%.
I think she tried a lot of it though. It just didn't work. For
Well,
her.
we wouldn't know because we started on episode 4.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we don't know when the pooping incident actually started.
I'm assuming it's when she got to the island.
Yeah, it was like pretty soon because even in the first
Episode
we
4
mentioned it.
it feels like 9 days would probably make sense to be like we're on episode 4 at 9 days in. You
And
know
I
what
think
mean?
Yeah.
I think our episode had like 2 or 3 days in it, so that would
That would
Okay,
kind of
that
check
makes
out.
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the show is very interesting because people can be completely compatible with their person that they think they're like getting close to or forming a connection with, and then as soon as someone else walks down to the island, they're like ready to just ditch the person.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's kind of crazy.
And that happened with at least 2 or 3
Yeah.
Already just in this
couples
episode.
in one episode.
But they be macking on everyone.
And this is just the
I
beginning.
mean, kiss your friends.
But sometimes this happens even at the end, like after they've been together for like weeks. They still somebody else they'll throw like random people in at the end just to see if it can mix things up. Just kind of evil.
Producers.
That's kind of evil.
It's kind of evil,
Yeah.
but they do that, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe I'll go for it because we're in paradise." But then people get really shocked because they're like, they were the strongest couple.
But you do
That's
have
what
to be
happened in this
selfish.
episode too. The selfish. The strongest couple is who got shook
got
up.
broken up. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I
But
think
you-
people.
Sorry.
I think people have in their mind too that because this is like an opportunity that it's a weird circumstance and situation, they kind of have to explore all options in this case because they shouldn't. Like, I feel like that's the point of the show.
Well, I feel like that's the point of love in general. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you fall in love and you choose a partner and you commit to them and you choose them every day. But like, you have to be selfish in some regard, or you could end up with a partner who is not Right. So like I was saying, you have to be selfish when you're falling in love. I don't think like as much so like once you're in love, like you have made a commitment. But also like, I don't know, and shows like this, like you're in it for yourself. You're not in it for another, like you're in it to find love, but like you're in it to find love for yourself.
Yeah, and I think it really does add another element of like the whole trust thing and knowing if someone's really in it for the right reasons, because it can be very scary on things like this, whether people are out there for their reputation or they want to become famous or things like that, like what their real objective is in going in the show, you know? And I think, yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that when you're falling in love and choosing a person, you have to be picky and you have to be doing it for yourself, I think, while taking into account other people's feelings, obviously. Yeah. But still, it's about what fits you, I think, too. But I think it does get to a point where communication is super important, and it becomes, are we both committing to each other on this, or am I still open to other options? And that's where this show, I feel like a lot of times can get tricky for people, because there are times when someone will think they've been open, but they really, or one person thinks they're exclusive and the other person thinks that they're not, and that happens often. And that's why a lot of the drama comes, so.
Which we saw a lot of in this episode.
Yeah.
Of like people being like, oh, I thought we were together. Oh, no,
yeah.
we're not.
And on this episode, it wasn't as, like, clear, but a lot of times, like, a girl or a guy, anybody, if they, like, if two people are together and then another girl, like, is trying to get with their guy, like, there's a lot of times that two girls will be fighting, or, like, two guys will be fighting, and it starts a lot of, like, drama. So, that didn't happen as much on this one, but I think as it keeps going, as people get more invested in their relationships, then they start to become, like, very defensive over their person. So, and protective. So, as soon as someone's, like, trying to, like, swoop in, they start to get really mad. And that's kind of funny.
Yeah. And, I mean, that definitely... So, I think the prime time that happened was when they brought in those two new guys.
Yeah.
They brought in that first guy who we liked, John Henry.
Yeah.
Who's, like, the only name I can remember.
I stan John Henry.
Yeah.
John Henry with his... He's a man that has boy's charm, is what I said. He came in, and then he was like, I want to be... He took out a few girls to just talk, kind of test what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked out that one girl, Olivia?
Olivia.
Yep.
I'm proud of myself for remembering
Yes.
that.
And that was interesting, too, because he walked in saying that he really thought Kylie was super pretty and, like, the girl that he was going to go after, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was nice that he, like, took the time to talk to them all, and it wasn't just based on looks for him. Like, not that, I mean, they're all very pretty, but I think that with Olivia, he had a connection, and he went with the connection rather than just, like, the girl that he's very attracted to, you know?
Right. But Olivia was attached to somebody previously.
And they said that they thought they had, like, the strongest connection, correct?
Yeah.
No. That was the other couple that went through.
Oh, okay.
That was Aaron B.
And Mercedes? No.
It wasn't Kylie. It was...
And...
Oh, the girl that you said caused a lot of drama last season.
Eliza.
Eliza! That's right. That's how we were.
That's right.
And she was very interesting to me. I don't know.
Here's my thing about that. So, feel free, this is an open environment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I looked at it like this. Essentially what happened was, she was like, well, he dated a few people before me. I haven't dated anybody yet, so I'm going to go date people.
Mm-hmm.
But they were already somewhat
Pretty
serious
close.
beforehand. So imagine that you're in like a serious relationship with somebody, and they're like, hey, you know how you dated people before
it's like
me?
holding it over
I
his
never
head.
got to do that, so I'm going to go...
Okay, but that
They-
happens.
But I think that's
But when
holding it
you're-
over his head. Like, at any point,
But-
they can just pull that card and be like, by the way.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree. But, like, think about people who date their high school sweetheart.
Right.
And then they're like, I need to go see
I get that.
the
But
other
I think,
options.
Sure.
Do I think it's healthy? Maybe not. But, like, is it...
I feel like
It's life, you know? Like, I think
do think
that's...
some people
But-
use it as an easy way out, though. To be
but-
like, oh, I never got that experience, you know?
Right. If it's a high school sweetheart situation, isn't the other person in that situation also...
Gonna go date other people.
Well,
Right,
either
what you're
that,
saying.
or they hadn't like dated anybody before. They both
They
started
both
dating,
Right.
and then one of them is like, "Hey, I want to go date other people," and that's like, again, it's. I guess for me, it really depends on how serious the relationship
Right.
is.
They've known each other for 9 days. How serious can it be?
Exactly. So this stuff is...
Sure. And I think for this show, it's okay, but like it made me think of like, what if this was a real life scenario where people were together for longer than 9 days,
Yeah.
hadn't pooped and needed to
needed to go date someone
Needed to go
else.
date
I think
someone else.
one of the like pros that can come out of this for people, I mean, obviously I haven't been on the show, but I think that people would be able to come out of the show knowing more of what they need or liked or like want in somebody.
It's like speed dating.
Yeah, and they get to know everybody, and they might say, you know what, like in this person I love that he was like a great communicator and he really like gave me what I needed to like feel assured or something. And then another person, they might say, you know what, I didn't like how like affectionate he was or whatever, like things like that. So I think they can start to realize like what they really look for in a partner through it, because they're meeting so many different kinds of people from all over the world, and they can just start to see what works for them and what doesn't, type thing.
Right.
I liked when that girl got really upset and her extensions
Rachel.
were hanging out. I really liked that part.
Yeah.
that was
So
funny.
They were
Rachel-
bad. They were all bad.
And Rachel got upset because the guy she was with was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm out, like, without even consulting her,
Yeah.
was like, hey, I'm gonna, or wasn't even like, hey, just went and talked to another girl.
And was telling people like, oh,
He would-
Rachel's way into me, but like I'm
Yeah.
not feeling it.
Like,
Yeah,
that's so
I would
annoying.
deck someone.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would be so upset. That is fair.
That was the ego.
But my extensions would not be hanging out.
Yeah.
No,
That dude,
no.
whatever that dude's name was,
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean. Yeah, we don't stand
Yeah,
Sean.
we don't,
No,
He was
it's
getting all
so
mad at
weird.
Braden and all like that.
Maybe
Yeah.
Rachel. Oh, but Rachel and Braden ended up macking.
Even though I didn't like Braden's earrings.
Oh, but
Oh,
I
I
liked
love
them making
him.
out.
I
Well.
think, yeah, like, to go back a little bit, Braden was on the last season and people really did not like him at all. He came off as, like, very egotistical, very narcissistic.
Oh. Do you think he'd do a monologue at a party?
Possibly could be in the cards for him. But yeah, so people didn't really like him at all. So people are very surprised that in this season so far he's been very, from what I've seen and from what people have like posted on Instagram, because I follow all those like reality TV show pages. But people have said that he's been like really respectable, like a very respectable guy. So it's been interesting for Bachelor in Paradise.
Do you think he like learned from that, or do you think this could dive into the territory of how much of this is scripted? And they were
Yeah.
like, Braden, this season we need you to be a little bit more. You didn't really gain too much favor last season, so now we need you to play a little bit
Exactly.
more.
When he looks like the bad boy, so it's like it's easy to like be like, oh, we're gonna
Pin
play
him
the
as
trope of like bad boy turned good, like and
Yeah.
have him fall in love. Oh, it's giving Damon Salvatore.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Vampire
And I think
Diaries.
I saw one time, like online, people did write about The Bachelor, like someone that's been on it before, and they said that so much of it is scripted, but also the way they edit it is just can make someone totally look totally different.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting too. It's also hard for people, like they can have one perspective on how the show went for them, and then it goes on TV and they look like a villain, and it's not even what they presented themselves as.
Yeah.
So
There was this reality show. I was telling the guys in the show that we're all in about this show. It's called, I can't remember for the life of me. It's a lie detector show though.
Ooh, interesting.
This, I'm pretty sure it's for money, but don't quote me on that. This lady went, and there is I'm going to give a shout out real quick. There is a wonderful YouTuber named Scott Kramer who did a whole video on this. I highly recommend you go watch Scott Kramer talk about this because he shows video clips and everything. He's great. There was a lady that went on this show, and again, I'm pretty sure she's competing for money, and so she has to pass lie detector questions. And each time she tells the truth, she gets a little further and further in. So at one point, it gets brought up. Did you cheat on? I can't remember if it was her boyfriend or husband. I think it was husband.
Oh,
I
yikes.
really do. If it wasn't husband, it was like very, very serious. It may have been fiance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was either husband or fiance. It was very serious.
Yeah.
And she, without maybe a little bit of hesitation, but she did admit to cheating. And she passed the lie detector. And it kept going. And it was like, do you still have feelings for your ex?
Oh my god.
And she
Was that
said
who she cheated with?
yes. And she said yes.
But
They
exes
pers-
are exes for a reason.
They proceeded to bring the ex onto the show.
That is
Yes,
evil.
he was there,
That's evil.
and they kept asking questions like in that kind of same general pattern. And the husband is over there, like shaking his head. And the reason I brought this up is because even though this is, I believe, what really happened, the way that the show edited it, you could tell that he was reacting to things Like his reactions to things were not always lined up with what I think was actually happening at the time. And I think and Scott Kramer talks about this. I think there's like a reused shot that they didn't catch, and they just reused, and it's like literally him doing the same thing twice. And I think that's how they put it out. So, but at the same time, this episode does start out with the host like talking to the audience and saying, we weren't sure if we wanted to even air this one because of all the craziness, but we've decided to just show it because it's whatever. If you want to know how it ended, she progressed very far as I know. She got to a question, do you think you're a good person? She said yes. She failed the lie detector test and lost the whole thing. She admitted
she had a lot of loss during
that. She admitted all this stuff
and
then didn't even win at the end. Can you imagine?
That's terrible.
Well, and that comes with like that's a lot to unpack. Like, do you think you're a good person? Because like that can, oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know how one answers that truthfully and knows that your answer is the truth.
And also, what defines like a good person?
Yeah,
like what?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think different people have different like bars on that. Like what is good to you might not be what someone else considers good. You know?
Clearly. I don't know. It's a tough subject, but I thought the reason I brought it up was because we were talking about people editing stuff to make it look different, and even though that was a little tiny aspect of what I talked about, it also has to do with reality TV. So.
Yeah. It calls into question how often they do that, even just in like movies or things. I know that they obviously do, but like there are so many shots that probably aren't even someone reacting to what just happened, and it places it and it just fits. And they just do that. But yeah.
We could go all day into how much music affects stuff too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Can completely change.
Completely change it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I could tell that Bachelor in Paradise was scripted, and I called this out if y'all remember.
Yeah.
They were talking about the couple that were the most together. Eliza and Aaron B. And
Eliza, that's their couple name.
And Eliza. Eliza and B. They were talking about like, oh, all the people were like, oh, they're so in love, they're the most together couple out of everybody. And then in comes somebody, and I said, and I was like, if this guy picks Eliza to go on a date with her, this is scripted AF.
Yep.
And what happened?
And that always happens on this show. Like they'll be like, oh, it's just like I'm dying without him. Like I don't know what to do, and then like she picks somebody else. Like it's like a weird opposite type thing.
That's why I don't like this one. I don't dislike it. Let me be clear, but like, I famously am a Love Island stan. Like I love Love Island. And I can talk about why this differs for me from Love Island, but like, I don't know. It's I think it's because the goal in this one is to propose and to get like it is end game romance. And like, don't get me wrong, like I think that's beautiful in theory, but that's clearly not what's happening. You know, like where in a lot of those other shows, I mean, I guess Love is Blind, they propose too, but like there are other things to gain like throughout the series, or like there are other obstacles, where this is just like, okay, let's put a whole group of people in a room. There's no like, are there challenges, or like do they do things other than like go on dates?
Not really.
See, that's what I like about like Love Island. They have like group challenges, and they like talk about things, and they like do like activities, and I think it gives like the actual ability to like bond with people.
They do more of that on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but not as much on here. I think they do some things like random date cards, but it's all surrounding dates and bringing people out and stuff like that. But Bachelorette, they do have like group dates where they like see how you are in a group, and they see like how smart you are, or like if you're good at like random challenges and things like that to like get to know someone better. But I get what you're saying.
It just feels like a proximity thing. It's kind of like when you like meet someone and like in the bubble you're in currently it works, but then like you go out into the real world and like of course it's not going to work, you know? Of course in the bubble of The Bachelor, like you could find someone and be like, oh, we're happy together, but then like
you're
you
getting
step out to the
$1 million
real world.
vacations, and you're living in a mansion, and you have food catered to you every minute, and everything's very easy, so there's not a lot of challenges that you really have to face when you're in a beautiful
perfect
circumstance. Right.
Now, how does it work with, because we didn't see this, and like in Love Island, like they have their like, they always sleep with their partner in a bed. Like,
Okay.
Do they sleep together? Do they sleep separate? Are
all
they
have
all
their
hooking
own-
up? Like what's
No, they all
what's the
have their
deal?
own rooms, own beds, everything.
Oh, everyone has their own room.
Yes. Or
Wow.
not own room, I don't think. I think they have roommates. But I think there are times when, like, someone ends up, like, sleeping in someone's, like,
Yeah.
typical. But they're not, like, paired up in
Okay.
a room.
Got
Just, I know Love Island, it's very, like, they literally sleep in bed with their pair.
Yeah.
But, no, they don't do that.
Got it.
Have y'all ever seen the?
Are you gonna talk about Too Hot to Handle? Oh, sorry. No. What?
There's just a really funny video of Love Island winning like a best reality series in some British award show.
No.
And it's why I always say Love Island like that, because the woman that announces that they won, she goes Love Island, and then as that's happening, behind her, the cast of Love Island is being raised up from the
like
stage,
it's SpongeBob.
kind of like
Okay,
the
got it.
SpongeBob. But the funny thing is, I guess she wasn't aware because the lady presenting turned around and fell into. I gotta try to find it and show y'all after this.
That's
She
hysterical.
falls in. So whenever I think of Love Island, I think of that. Love Island. Every time.
But like clearly, The Bachelor like has like a main like it's got to be good.
Yeah.
And I think we just like we got a little bit of drama, but like we didn't like I need
This
people
wasn't-
throwing things.
This was nothing, I'm gonna be honest. This episode, very bland compared to the others.
And yet, it was everything because of Sam's pooping
yeah, it was
problem.
really that was what
That
got me
was
in.
the main event.
Like
I
I
did
watched
really
it
hope
because of that.
That
Yeah.
was going to carry out through the whole episode, and then
yeah.
When in the first 10 minutes it was over, I was like, well, what now?
Yeah, right.
you know what I'd be interested in? I don't know if I ever could get her, but on the show. But I told y'all I'm friends with Elsie.
Yeah.
I wonder if this show ever took off, which you can help with by like commenting and sharing the videos.
Yes.
I wonder if I could, and we could do like a part 2 to like reality TV and talk to her a little bit,
From
even if
someone
I
that's
like
actually been a part of.
zoom her in or something like that.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We
Very
could talk
cool.
about that.
Yeah. Speaking of Too Hot to Handle, I am against that show because
What?
I feel like that one is so.
It's absurd.
What is Too Hot to Handle?
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Too Hot to Handle is literally a game show. They start with like a set amount of money that the whole group could win.
I like the money part on it. though.
Yeah. I think that's where I think that this one feels bland to me is because there's
Yeah.
no like Love Island, you win money
Yeah.
and you can either split it with your partner or keep it for yourself.
Yeah.
So they start with a set amount of money and they do all these challenges and virtually any sort of sexual act, kissing, like having sex, any of it takes money away. So like the whole island is like people, like really absurdly attractive people, like trying to not hook up.
But I feel like it puts such a focus on the sexual aspect of a
Oh, yeah.
relationship to the point that it is all about hooking up. Like that is all they're really talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's about relationships.
Is it
it's about
really
temptation.
It's
that
crazy.
hard?
It's literally, speaking of temptation, have you seen Temptation Island?
No.
That has to be next. Can I come back one time? I have something to show you guys. Temptation Island is crazy. Basically,
boy.
people are dating and they know that there's something a little bit lacking. So there's a reason why they're not married or they're not getting married, and they're like they don't know exactly what it is, or sometimes they do have something and they're like I don't know if it's lacking or if it's just me. They go on this island and they meet other single men and women. The men go to the women's house and the women go to the men's
It's
house.
like when you go to Casa Amor in Love Island.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yep, exactly. And this is them seeing if they can form bonds with someone else or find somebody else.
Have you seen Ultimatum?
I saw a couple episodes of that.
Okay,
I
that's
didn't
kind
see
of
the whole, but it's similar. Yep. Temptation Island is brutal though. It is
So
brutal,
is
and they have to sit there and watch
Ultimatum.
their every week they have like a fire something where they bring like the girls to the fire pit and they're like, okay, we'll show you a clip of your guy, and they'll see their guy like making out with someone or like do something, and
Oh,
they're
no,
like,
no,
oh
no.
my god, like I can't
I do not
imagine this."
share well.
And they show like the worst clip so that they really have to think in their mind like they kind of force them to find other connections and see if it's better, and it's a very brutal way to do it. I don't agree with it, obviously it's just crazy, but
But it's fun to watch.
it's fun to watch, and it's so like my heart, there were times when I was like, oh my god, like it was crazy.
I do get really attached to reality TV stars.
Yeah.
Like I will sit and I'm like I'm invested in this
Yep.
relationship that has like no
you should
meaning to
definitely
me.
watch Temptation Island. It's crazy.
Do we want to talk about like reality for a minute? Just reality TV shows that aren't necessarily romance based
Yeah,
that we
sure.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Survivor.
Love Survivor.
Love
I've
Survivor.
never seen it.
Really?
What?
Okay, I love Survivor.
It's good
Very
stuff.
good. There was one that I watched. It was like a challenge-based show. I forgot exactly what it was, but I like ones that have to do with like winning a lot of money or like playing like doing challenges, kind of like Survivor.
Mhm.
Similar, but like
Sorry, continue.
no, it's alright.
I don't know if this is falling into reality TV, but like I could sit and watch Family Feud all day.
I love Family
Like I
Feud.
could watch
Yep.
Family Feud.
I wouldn't
all
say it's
day.
reality, but I will accept it in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
conversation.
It's,
And I think
it's
the one I'm
going
thinking
into
of
game shows.
It's
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
to that too. It's game show. I know what it's called.
Because I was about to say Deal or No Deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
love.
That's
I
also
love
Jeopardy. I could sit,
Yeah.
watch Game Show Network all day.
Whenever I go on like, I've gone on a few cruises and stuff, and they do the Deal or No Deal like in the big lobby. My family always participates because it's so fun. Like I'm obsessed with Deal or No. I just love it. But no, the one I was thinking of is they don't sleep all night long, and then they have to do these challenges, and they have like 24 hours of like you have to be awake, and then they have to like count money and like see how close they came to the actual number. But these people are like delusional after like 25,
Oh my
26
gosh.
hours, and they try to like keep going, or they have to do like physical challenges too, like run with like an egg on your head and try not to let it like fall down, like crazy things like that. And their coordination is all messed up because they're like exhausted, but it's so funny to watch. But some of them are like, some people can operate very well without sleep, and then there's the other people that are very exhausted.
Delulu.
So, yeah, Delulu.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of The Mole?
No.
Wait, I think I have heard of it, but I haven't.
One person, so it's like a competition show, but like
Yeah.
one person in the cast is purposely sabotaging
Oh,
everything.
That
Wait,
sounds
that
like that
sounds really
game.
good.
Oh, we haven't played that. It sounds like that Jackbox game. You know, where Faith used to always be the bad guy in the house, and she would be. I don't know that we ever played this together.
I don't know.
There's a Jackbox game where like you're all a family and like you can do tasks
Oh,
together, and
yes.
one person can be like sabotaging the group.
Yes.
And Faith was always the saboteur.
That sounds.
This is kind of like that, except they're doing more like physical challenges.
Yeah.
So I recommend that. There's also a celebrity version. Celebrity. Have you heard of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? This is like
What's that?
this is like an older. Actually, it might still be going on like British TV, but
Yeah.
in the U.S. it ended a while ago. That is, they take a bunch of celebrities and they drop them into a Survivor-like scenario. It's basically Celebrity Survivor.
Oh my god.
How much of it is scripted, you never know, but it was fun to watch.
Remember the reality TV episode of Zoe 101? Anyone?
I
Okay.
didn't have childhood too much. I
Fair.
didn't have a childhood too much.
This is going back to talking about Love Island, but my favorite Love Island
Love
star.
Island.
Two of them went on to do some fitness reality TV show that I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But they're my favorite reality TV show couple. I don't know if they're back together again, but he had to leave the island because he had an unexpected death in the family. And she said, I'm leaving with you then. And they left. And they would have won the season.
No way. Are they still?
As far as they broke up for a while,
Okay.
and then they got back together.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
so
It's
weird.
Shannon and Josh. So hopefully they're still
Aw.
together.
Hopefully you're together, Shannon and Josh, on Love Island.
That was bold. She was like, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah,
That's-
she literally left with him.
Yeah, Aaron S. Why didn't you leave with Sam when she
All
couldn't
these people
poop?
are trash. Yeah, Aaron, come on.
And then like, but also like, remember at the end of the episode, he's like, I'm not gonna get picked, so I'm just gonna start messing around with shit.
He did say, Agent of Chaos, ready.
Ready? Yeah. For
Yeah, I would have just left. Maybe he's trying to leave. Maybe they wouldn't let him leave, and now he's like, well, I'm just gonna, maybe I'll get myself
Close.
kicked out.
Yeah.
And then me and Sam can go, eat some Taco Bell.
Yeah, for real. I think that what else is interesting on that show is like, because you're always surrounded by other people, it makes you question how much of what they're saying to you is like truly how they feel about things, or if it's just like, I don't want the group to think I'm a bad person, so let me say what I think would be correct. You know? Like, I feel like a lot of that will happen in that show. Because if you're one-on-one with someone, it's very easy to like more easy to be yourself and say how you truly feel. But I think if you're around like a group of people, you try to think about what would be accepted by the group more, you know?
Do you think you can open up to someone in 9 days? Like, yeah, you're spending 24 hours with them, but like...
I think you can. But I'm also someone that's very like... I like to talk deep, and I like to like all that stuff, and I feel like if you know that, if you feel some type of trust, or like you're slowly giving your trust to that person, you feel that they're reciprocating, it's like a...
Slowly giving,
yeah.
That makes
A little
sense.
bit.
I feel like I feel like
Wait,
us
the married
two.
man in the group.
I was just gonna say, I think us as theater people,
Oh.
we're naturally open people to begin with, because that's what we do for a living. We open
Yeah.
ourselves up to these different scenarios and roles and stuff. So not everybody, but I think
Yeah.
we have a tendency to be a little more open.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
So
And here's the and this is really getting into a very deep conversation for Bumbledickin, if we're being honest. Like, I think
we talked about poop earlier. You're
that
fine.
is true. Oh,
Balance us out a little bit. How are we doing?
We've got 10%.
We'll wrap it up soon.
I think you can, like, we're open about our experiences, but I don't know that we're always open about how we currently feel. Does that make sense?
Yes,
We're very open to like discussing who we are and how we got here, but it's as humans, I think it's way harder to like sit there and be like, I feel this way
Right at this
right
moment.
now. Yeah.
It's easier to discuss, to be vulnerable about things that have already happened rather than your current.
Yeah.
I think that's what I meant. I thank you for putting that in perspective, because there's definitely times where like I'm feeling something and I don't want to talk about it or open myself up to it right now. But yeah, like you said, things in the past we're a little more open to talking about it.
Yeah.
Just because of
Yeah, and I think that happens in everyday life too. Like there might be one day where I feel like kind of down on myself or something, but then like 2 days go by and I'm like, yeah, a couple days ago I was feeling really sad about this.
Yeah.
But in that present moment, I'm not feeling the need to explain.
So I guess that's why I asked, like, can you open up to someone in 9 days? Because yes, I can open up about all these things that have happened before, but I'm not in a place where I can be like, I feel this way right now with you, and trust that other person after only knowing them for 9 days.
Yeah, and I think also the situation with 10 million other girls that are there, and that they could
And I
easily
don't
go to
share
someone
well.
else. Right, me either. We would be great tongue island.
I know we would. We would be the crazy girls. They would love us. Love Island casting. Let us know. No, not Love Island. Well, there too.
Sure.
Sure.
You're the two American girls that they bring on, and they're just like,
There's
oh,
an American Love Island.
you're right, there is an American Love Island.
Although I always thought the British one was better.
Oh, it is. Oh, the UK version?
Yeah,
My favorite couple
It's-
from the UK is Paige and Finn.
Okay, I didn't see the last. Was that the last season?
That's season 3, question mark?
Okay, I saw the one with
Favorite.
what's his name, Tommy.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, I loved that season.
I'm gonna throw this reality show in, because if I don't
Yeah.
say it, I'm gonna be sad. Great British Bake Off.
Not a fan.
I've
Not a
seen
fan.
it.
Love Cake Wars, love Cupcake Wars.
It's
Love
so
Is It
wholesome.
Cake? Do not like.
Why don't you like it?
It's boring.
What is it?
The word you're looking for is wholesome. Wholesome.
Why? What is it about?
British people baking.
Okay.
But it's like a competition.
Do you like Chopped?
Never
They,
seen it.
Okay.
I love anything
Chopped?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Anytime that man is yelling. Yeah, but see, like, American reality TV is so, like, heightened. So then, like, when you get into, like...
it's the total opposite of Gordon Ramsay.
Correct. And I want Gordon Ramsay to be yelling at me.
All right.
I love when he goes in and fixes the restaurants.
Okay. Isn't that Caleb's dad?
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, isn't this like a running joke?
I don't know. If it is, I haven't heard it.
I thought this was a running gag, but maybe it was.
Caleb, comment and let us know if that's a running gag.
I could have sworn it was a running gag. Anyway. Okay, so we're getting down to the wire here with battery life. So do we want to jump into final thoughts on
Yeah.
Bachelor in Paradise season 9 episode 4?
I think after watching all of the ones previous, just kidding, we didn't. But I think this episode overall, if I was to rate it, it would be a solid 5 out of 10. It
Oh,
was not my
interesting.
favorite.
Are all 5 of those points for Sam's inability to poop?
Exactly. I think 4 of them were for that, and then one of them was for like just the drama
Of Aaron.
people switching.
John Henry.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
1 point for
Well,
John
John
Henry.
Walking on
John
the-
Henry
yeah.
is 4 points himself. I
Yeah,
love
so-
him.
So yeah, overall,
Handshaking.
there wasn't a lot of drama that
So
went on.
nice.
It wasn't nothing really moved the plot too much.
Well, we didn't get to see a rose ceremony.
And
I feel
there
like that
was
was
no-
Yeah, it was leading up to one, and then to not have one was kind of like weird.
It
Yeah.
was weird.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, oh sorry to cut you off.
Fine.
A lot of times on the next episode, if they don't have a rose ceremony this episode, they'll start it with the rose ceremony. So,
Got it.
but I feel like they should just end the episode with the rose ceremony.
yeah, but then I guess it kind of hooks people.
Exactly, that they
I'll
need
watch
to watch
next
the
week.
next one.
I liked it. It was good. I would probably continue watching, but I don't know that I would be like a strict follower of the
Yeah.
Bachelor series. You know, like
Mhm.
it. Like now I'm interested in this season, so I'm gonna be like, okay, what happens to John Henry? Like,
Yeah, although
Uh,
I raise you to try Bachelor and Bachelorette because they are a little different.
Okay.
They are a different vibe, but I mean, it is similar, still giving out roses and whatever, but you get more invested in the people on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, at least I have, because you get to know them, like, just talking to one person, and you see how they, like, interact in a setting like that, rather than it being a social setting. It's more just, like, who they are as a human being.
Got it.
So,
I thought it was fine. I loved the beginning.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
I feel like it is a show that I would watch if y'all came to hang out, but I don't know that I would watch it like by myself.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's fair.
It feels like a good group activity type
Yeah.
show.
to, like, laugh at. And
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Honestly, me
TBH.
too. Yeah.
But it was good.
It was
It
good.
was good.
I think it meets the typical reality TV objective
Yeah.
of being entertaining and making people laugh
Mhm.
and the typical stuff.
Sure.
We love to see crazy. We
Yeah.
love to watch crazy. I love drama when it does nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
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 Give me more of that.
I think the last thing we should say is, Sam, we hope you've pooped.
Yeah.
We hope
Wishing the best for you, buddy.
you've pooped by now, please.
Yeah.
I'd say see a doctor, but she did. And
Yeah,
I know.
it didn't help, I guess.
I hope she's pooped.
That's rough.
Well, Allie, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thanks for
you guys
Bumbledickin with
having
us.
me. It was fun. I loved it. And thanks for watching with me.
Of course.
Thank you
It was
for
a good time.
entertaining us.
So if you want to see Allie back on the show, because regardless of what you say, we're gonna have her back.
It's true.
So don't
Thank you.
vote. We're gonna have her back.
Thank you.
Feel free to share, like, comment, all that good stuff. We said that
Smash
again.
that like button.
Oh, here we go again.
Below.
Yeah.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Let us know your favorite reality shows.
Yeah. Maybe we'll watch some of those.
Yeah, we're always down to have some comments for stuff to watch. It doesn't have to just be what we bring to the table.
Yeah, that would be great if people would start sending in suggestions, and we're gonna keep having more guest stars. So we'll see. Up soon, we're gonna have some Christmas movies, some really bad ones that I'm gonna bring Evan.
Okay. Am I bringing bad Christmas movies?
If you want.
I don't watch bad Christmas movies. So I don't.
Get ready.
I can't do it. There it is. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.